Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a rowdy couple in love that loves reacting to some RWBY.
Rowdy for RWBY.
And this is volume 4, episode 8 for RWBY. If you want all of our RWBY reactions, we got a playlist down below in the description of this video where we also have a link to our Patreon. We can get early ad-free access to our reactions.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You want to smile? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta check back on you. And Blake.
Really? No questions?
Of course we have questions. This is just a lot to take in.
Sure, of course.
So these maidens, they're powerful fighters that don't need dust to use magic.
Yeah.
And there are 4 of them?
Yep. Always.
Which means that whenever one of them dies, the power transfers to someone, a female, that they care about?
Whoever was in their thoughts last. Important distinction. Best option, it's someone we can trust. Regardless, their souls become combined, in a way.
And that's what you were trying to do to Pyrrha. The night the tower fell. You were trying to turn her into one of them.
The previous Fall Maiden, Amber, had been attacked. She was young, inexperienced. And her assailant, who we now know as Cinder, somehow managed to steal some of her power, but not all of it. We were afraid that if we didn't do something, the rest would go to her as well.
So you forced it on Pyrrha?
We didn't force anything.
Yeah. Asked.
We explained the situation and gave her a choice, and she chose. You were there. You heard her.
That guy, Tyrion, why was he after me?
Well, you definitely painted a target on your back with what you did at Beacon. I told you having silver eyes is a rare trait, and the fact that you're someone that was able to use them seems to have upset some very powerful people. Not many people know about the silver eyes, but those that do aren't very happy that one has surfaced. That's why I've been keeping an eye on you. Wanted to make sure you were safe. All of you.
Well, then why not just travel with us? It seems like that would have been way easier.
He was using you as bait.
Look, I wouldn't put it like that. It's complicated.
But he's right.
What is all of this? RWBY's being hunted. The schools are being attacked. All for what? What is the point of all of this? Will you just tell us what's going on?
Would you sit down? You're stressing me out, kid. Not many people are super religious these days. This world's been around for a long time. Long enough that people have created dozens of gods. But if you believe Ozpin, 2 of them are actually real. They were brothers.
Lore time.
The older sibling, the god of light, found joy in creating forces of life. Meanwhile, the younger brother, the god of darkness, spent his time creating forces of destruction. As you can imagine, they both had pretty different ideas about how things should go. The older one would spend his days creating water, plants, wildlife. And at night, his brother would wake to see all the things that the elder had made and become disgusted. To counteract his brother's creations, the god of darkness brought drought, fire, famine, all that he could do to rid Remnant of life. Life always returned. So one night, the younger brother went and made something. Something that shared his innate desire to destroy anything and everything.
The creatures of Grimm.
You guessed it. The older brother had finally had enough. Knowing that their feud couldn't last like this forever, he proposed that they make one final creation. Together. Something they could both be proud of. Their masterpiece. Younger brother agreed. This last great creation would be given the power to both create and destroy. It would be given the gift of knowledge so that it could learn about itself and the world around it. And most importantly, it would be given the power to choose. To have free will to take everything it had learned and decide which path to follow. The path of light or the path of darkness. And that is how humanity came to be.
But what does that have to do with us?
Well, that's the kicker.
You're humanity.
See, the 4 gifts to mankind, knowledge, creation, destruction, and choice, aren't just metaphorical. Each of them exists in a physical form, left behind by the gods before they abandoned Remnant, and each of them is extraordinarily powerful. If someone were to collect all 4, they'd be able to change the world, and that's exactly what the enemy wants.
They're like the Infinity Stones.
The Huntsman Academies were created to train generations of humanity's protectors, but they also serve another purpose. Guarding the relics. When Ozpin's predecessor founded the schools, he built them around the relics to act as a fortress. Not only would they be easier to defend, but they would be constantly surrounded by trained warriors. The hope was that hiding the relics would keep mankind from using them against itself. And of course, keeping them out of her reach. So, yeah, there's that.
Her. You mean Salem?
That's right. Not much is known about her, and quite frankly, that's not what matters. What matters right now is that she wants the relics. And if she gets them, it's not going to end well.
You didn't have to tell us that part. Could have pieced that one together.
You know, you can always go in and say hi.
I don't want to bother him.
A father's never too busy for his daughter.
Not all of my friends would agree with you on that.
Here.
What?
Yeah, there's nothing like
Where are you going?
Weiss's dad.
You've never been very talkative, but that boy you brought home loves to run his mouth. I want to hear more about the adventures of Team RWBY.
Nice.
Collie, is that you, dear?
Hey, Dad.
Blake. Well, this is a pleasant surprise. Please, come sit. Don't worry, I've got it. Sit down, sit down.
I don't want to keep you if you're...
Nonsense. I've been cooped up in here all day. You still take sugar, right?
Oh, actually,
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Oh, here, take this one.
No, really, it's no big deal.
You sure?
Positive.
Awkward.
Old habits, I suppose. Might want to let it cool.
Right.
So, is it warm in Vale?
Huh?
It just seems like your outfit doesn't cover very much.
It covers plenty.
I mean, a little more armor might help, don't you think?
I'm fine. I don't need armor. I can look after myself.
I know you can. I'm sorry.
Why? Why would you say that?
Sweetheart, what's wrong? What did I say?
How can you still love me after what I did?
Blake. Your mother and I will always love you.
You were right. I shouted at you and yelled at you, but you were right. I called you cowards.
It's okay.
I should have left the White Fang with you and Mom. I should have listened to you, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You need to find your own way. It's okay.
It's fine. We never held anything against you, and I never feared you would fail. The only thing I ever feared was that you would fall down the wrong path. And I am so proud to see you haven't.
But I did. It was...
And you pulled yourself out. You came back. There aren't many who possess that kind of strength, and even fewer that have the courage to face their demons again. Vale, Mountain Glen, Beacon. You confronted the White Fang time after time.
I didn't do it alone.
No, you didn't. Which is why I wanted to ask you. Why did you leave Vale? Why did you leave your friends behind?
Son?
Whoa! This isn't the bathroom! I'll just be going. Sorry to interrupt this tender family moment.
I really don't like you.
All right.
Speaking of not wearing a lot of
let's say
clothes
we
either.
believe all of this. There really is this crazy evil being behind these attacks, not just some thugs trying to become powerful. Why doesn't the world know? Why isn't Atlas going after them, or Mistral?
And why aren't we in more of a hurry to get to Haven? Shouldn't we be getting them a message? What if they're next?
The headmaster over there saw what happened to Beacon. He's not dumb. He'll be on his guard. Besides, it takes time to mobilize forces like that. Do you really think they planned out that attack on Beacon overnight? And to answer your question, it's the same reason we keep quiet about the Maidens. If the whole world knew about the relics, about Salem, it would be chaos. We'd have another great war on our hands, and this time, you'd have to fight. Look, I had the same questions too, but old Ozpen always put his foot down. We can't cause a panic. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Salem's smart. She works from the shadows, using others to get what she wants, so that when it comes time to place the blame, we can only point at each other. She's trying to divide us, humanity. And so far, she's done a pretty damn good job.
All right. So what should we do?
I don't really know.
That's comforting.
Ozpen has put a lot of trust in the headmasters. Like I said, the schools are an important part of stopping Salem. Atlas is going to be on high alert after the last attack, and Vacuo is, well, Vacuo. It'll be hard to hire thieves and scoundrels to fight against other thieves and scoundrels. Take that, add in the fact that Cinder and her crew claim to be from Haven, and I think it's likely the next target. So, we're on our way to the headmaster. Haven't heard from him in a while, even before the attack. I'm hoping he has the answers. All right.
Need to get that checked out
I think
first.
it's time you kids got some sleep.
Uncle Crow,
Yeah?
this is a lot to take in. And it all sounds crazy, but I'm willing to do whatever I can to help. Because I trust you. But why couldn't you trust me? Why couldn't you just travel with us instead of all of this secrecy and...
Look, this has nothing to do with trust. It's a long story, okay?
Seriously?
And I just told one long story.
Now you're tired of telling us stories?
Did you know that crows are a sign of bad luck? Old superstition, but it's how I got my name. You see, some people can absorb electricity, and some people can burst into rose petals. And some people are just born unlucky. My semblance isn't like most. It's not exactly something I do. It's always there, whether I like it or not.
Oh, he's just bad luck.
I bring misfortune. I guess you could call me a bad luck charm. Comes in real handy when I'm fighting an enemy. But it makes it a little hard on friends.
That's why I want
and family.
Stay back.
Well, you are just a real bundle of help, aren't you?
Yeah.
No wonder he drinks. Because he was so sad all the time.
Where are you going?
Taking a walk.
There's nothing else you want to tell us?
Not tonight.
No concept of privacy, no respect for personal space.
I'm sorry, okay? Ow, I'm sorry. Look, I promise it was important. I needed to find you to talk to you.
What, son? What could be so important?
I was talking to your mom and she said something weird about the White Fang.
I'm stopping you right there.
But
I told you. I'm not here to fight the White Fang. I'm not here to fight anyone. I'm here to rest, to figure things out, and to see my family.
Your mom said White Fang members don't wear masks in Menagerie, but I saw one at the market yesterday. I even got a picture.
Son.
Look, I'm trying to help.
I don't want your help.
Ah, Blake.
Blake, stop being so stupid.
You don't want to fight the White Fang, but they're coming for you.
A freaking ninja?
A spy.
But why would... Hey,
Ninja spy.
What's happened?
The White Fang is evil, I totally called it, and I'm bringing your daughter back!
We should probably get moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get him some medical attention.
unfortunate.
Son of a bitch.
Seriously.
I was waiting for that to happen. I mean, like, we knew they had to be poisoned from the scorpion tail, sting. I mean, and then...
But how did none of them know that? The guy was a scorpion.
I know, right?
I mean, it's not like there are friendly scorpion stingers. They're all pretty bad.
Yeah. A lot of information in that episode.
Yeah.
A lot of backstory, a lot of questions answered, especially the one we had asked last episode. I mean, I think you were right. Like, you know, it wasn't that the fact that he was scared or thought that, you know, his attention would be, he wouldn't be able to manage both. It was more so the fact that, like, there was something else there, and it was the fact that he brings bad luck to people that either fights or their friends are around him. So now that makes more sense.
It also explains why he was so cavalier at being able to dodge Tyrion, and like his blade was always in the right place to dodge the stinger. He was giving him that was just a great reveal.
Yeah, for sure. I also like the way that they revealed it, like looking through the fire at him. I thought that was just a cool shot there.
And then of course the log falls out of the fire right after he leaves.
Yep.
So it was good little touches there.
You know, sucks to John finding out all this stuff about the maidens and just having to revisit. And not that he doesn't probably think about Pyrrha and her death like constantly all the time, but like, and you know, I'm sure there's a part of himself that he blames himself for what happened because he was supposed to be on guard and everything. But we've kind of already talked about how it wasn't really his fault. And like, I mean, you know, if that happened to you and I was, you know, watching guard and like you started screaming, like I would turn my head and be like, what the hell is going on there? Blake and Sun, they're a fun pairing, but like it's like a fun like odd couple pairing. And Blake like just not wanting to hear about it. It's like, I get it. You came there just to relax and you don't want to fight. But again, going back to the Lord of the Rings, which I'm sure we said it more times before, but
war is upon you.
Yeah.
Whether you will or not.
Yes. Yeah,
so, you know, you don't get choices when it's at your feet. And when the White Fang showed up on their doorstep, she was very willing to launch into how terrible they are and like,
yeah,
you know, try to be confrontational with them and talk to her family. I don't know, it did strike me as odd that like now here Sun comes with some potentially really relevant strategic information and she's like, no, I don't want to hear him, and chuck your cell phone away. And you're like, what? Like strategy, if you want to beat these people and if you don't want them to hurt your family, maybe, you know what their weaknesses are.
Yeah, which felt a little bit out of, I don't know, it was out of character, but it's out of place because I'm like, Sun was never really like pushing for like a war against the White Fang or something. Like, I guess I mean, yeah, like that's kind of how they met, I guess. I mean, like, but at least, I mean, in the recent episodes, he hasn't been really pushing that much for like a fight with the White Fang. Like he went there to follow her on the boat or whatever to protect her and everything. And so I could see like if he was always the one trying to look for an angle and like trying to, if he was trying to convince her to get back into the fight, I could see her like, you know, being fed up with it at this point. But it didn't sound like he was always doing that. So like for her to just be so dismissive of him, throw away the phone, not even want to look at the evidence that he brings up, just seemed, like I said, like it was a little bit surprising.
I get her desire to reconnect with her family. I get that she's got a lot of baggage and history here because of how things dissolved in her family prior to her leaving. But like this is one of those things where I think we as people tend to not serve ourselves very well, which is she talked about like, I just want to like talk with my family. And it's like, yes, I understand. But like clearly that moment has passed. Whatever that moment was that you were about to have with your father, it got interrupted. It has passed. You will need to find a new one, but that's obviously not going to happen on the balcony with Sun while you're having kind of a little frustrated meltdown. So I think as people, sometimes we try to hang on to something or to a concept of like, the moment was supposed to be this, or like I believe that my relationship with my family should be this. And like we hold on to that so tightly that we miss opportunities right in front of us. Like Sun's clearly giving her an opportunity to learn some relevant information about White Fang and she's missing it because she's trapped in the moment that happened 5 minutes ago that she missed with her father.
Yeah, because Sam was like, you know, listening in and breaking and like and getting through the door, and so I guess like that's probably, you know, that's the reason why she was so upset, because she thought that he was trying to get in there to give her this information. She, like you said, ruined the moment. But I think you bring up a good point that, you know, that moment is lost now, so might as well, you know, okay, let me listen to what you had to say so urgently or whatever, that you ruined my moment with my dad, reconnecting with him. Now that moment is gone, at least let it be worth something. Let it be, you know, let it mean something. And then with a good conversation with her dad, and her dad handled it really well, talking about the fact that, yeah, I mean, you know, you always knew you're gonna be great, but like I always hoped you made the right decisions and went down the right path. It sucks her being so hard on herself. I mean, yes, you made a poor choice, but you eventually came to the right one. You just needed more information. You didn't know everything that your parents knew or whatever. Maybe they saw something that you hadn't seen. They had different experiences, and yeah, and so I mean, she had to learn that for herself. Sucks that she was so hard on herself for that.
And White Fang does seem to be, like, in this world, sort of a radical political entity that's kind of, I mean, with what we've seen in more recent episodes, kind of going towards more that, like, we're not just radical, we're kind of flirting with terrorism a little bit. Going in that direction. What her parents recognized was that we can't just, or at least what they learned because it failed, was we can't just tell you not to go along with this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, basically, White Fang is like a cult. Like, they're so kind of all-consuming to the people who seem to be involved in it, and they really spin a certain narrative that, I mean, Blake has rightfully vocalized what it was like being in the White Fang, and how it started all wonderful and then kind of dissolved into something terrible, and she didn't really realize it along the way. And that sounds very cult-esque to me. And I think, you know, you can't tell people they're wrong in a cult. That makes them get defensive, that turns them off, that makes them pull away from you. But if the truth can be revealed to them, however that needs to happen, once they realize it for themselves, they will reject what they were in and push away from it and fight against it far harder than they ever would have if they just were like, yeah, you know, you're right. I don't believe this anymore. I'll just come along with you and your way of thinking. People need to find these things for themselves. And then when they do, and you hope that, you know, if you're their parent, you've raised them right and given them the morals and all that jazz, that they'll eventually get there. And that's exactly what Blake did. And her father had the faith that she would.
Let us know what you thought about this episode down below in the comments. And if you want early ad-free access to our RWBY reactions, check out the description of this video, because we got a link to our Patreon there, as well as a playlist for all of our reactions here on YouTube.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for checking out our reaction for RWBY Volume 4, Episode 8, but you keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.